歡迎收睇我哋三藩市市長選舉候選人訪問。Here we have Richie Greenberg as our guest today. You select this your friend's house. Do you have any special meaning for you?
Well, it's important for me to be in a comfortable home, and I'm the only candidate running for mayor that is actually from the Richmond. My values and most of my support is going to come from the Richmond here, from the west side.
You talk about the west side, so you think there is a difference between the west side and the rest of the San Francisco?
In some ways, yes. There is a divide on several of the issues that are facing the city, west side versus east. For example, on the west side, we have many single-family homes. And so issues where, such as parcel tax added on to home ownership would be a problem for west side, but the east side may not care about that. The east side has often younger single people, like in the Mission, that ride bicycles and work in tech. And so over the coming months, as we get closer to Election Day, June 5th, we will see that there are ballot measures will affect property value potential, other ballot initiatives that deal with housing, deal with building. And so the east side is going to vote one way, the west side is going to vote a different way.
We talk about San Francisco. Are you born and raised here? Can
No.
you tell us a little bit?
No, although I
about
feel almost like I'm a native San Franciscan, but I'm not. And I was born in New York. When I was very young, my family then moved to Long Island in a middle-class home. I have my parents, myself, and my sister, a family of 4. And then when I turned 21, I left Long Island and moved to California for the California dream.
Why did you pick San Francisco? Why you work and live here?
Well, back in 1989, 1990, I was living in Los Angeles, and I had earned my income tax preparation license for a business. I was a sole practitioner. And by the late 1990s, I decided I wanted to expand, and so I was traveling back and forth between LA and here for a couple of years, and then I finally decided I only wanted to just be in San Francisco at that point. Since living here, I have really fallen in love with the city, as so many people do. But then I got to see a lot of the drawbacks, a lot of the issues that we have here, and I really wanted to make a difference. And I'm not a career politician. I believe that's one of the big differences between me and politicians. The politicians seem to look at only themselves to ensure that they have their career to perpetuate.
You say you saw a lot of drawbacks. So what decision do you think makes San Francisco as where it is today?
Well, you could look at several different factors. From 1912 to 1964, approximately, we had 5 back-to-back Republican mayors, and they made great strides, made great improvements here in the city. And then after that, from 1964 to what we see today, we've had all of these problems under Democratic leadership. And this is something that really, really needs to change. What I have seen since living here in 2000, 2001 and onwards is there were great roller coaster ups and downs. First the .com, and then the mortgage meltdown, and now we're heading for I don't know what's going to happen. And we've had missed opportunities. For example, just one example. After 2001, when the economy started tanking again, people were leaving, there were less cars in the streets. This was an opportunity for the city to now focus on what can we do to fix the infrastructure, to fix Muni, and we missed it. And then after 2008, another big drastic drop, there was another similar opportunity. Now trying to institute any changes is really difficult because we have so many people living here. And so it's probably going to take another downturn before we can make any real meaningful change. That's what I'm seeing.
Now you're the only Republican candidate. What's your major difference from other candidates?
Republican values and mentality is really important to look at compared to the Democrats, which in San Francisco are pretty far left and lefter. I look at fiscal being conservative. So rather than building the government bigger and bigger, I look to try and bring that back. We want less actual government influence or interference in our daily life. The Democrats love to add more regulation on small businesses. I want less regulation. I, in fact, would propose that we do for new startup companies, I would want to have maybe a 1-year grace period, a 1-year exemption of having to pay any of those. Those are just some of the fundamental differences. And things like supporting or opposing helping the police department. I am very, very staunchly pro-SFPD, and my opponents are, for the most part, they don't support the police department. I am, for the most part, against Sanctuary City. I believe Sanctuary City needs to be modified a little bit to focus just on those individuals who are here, who have run from justice, who are fugitives from other countries. My opponents, the Democrats, they across the board support Sanctuary City.
You have a contract, you have a pledge with
Contract
the
San
voters.
Francisco,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So if you're elected, what's your priority?
Exactly. One of the most important right now is to deal with homelessness. I will declare a state of emergency here in San Francisco and approach this in an emergency effort. For example, there's a pier, 3032, which is just south of the Bay Bridge overpass. It's an open-air, flat pier. I will bring in FEMA style, that's the Federal Emergency Management Agency of the federal government, and put modular, like mobile homes, as many as we can reasonably fit there safely, to be able to put our homeless that are living out on the streets there instead. These are 2 or 3 bedroom, small emergency shelter type homes with living quarters as well. And also support services with counseling, with clinics for health evaluations. This becomes a triage center, a place where they can each be evaluated in what their needs are. It's sort of like a navigation center. This is something that I would want to do within the first 100 days. So I know that there's other proposals out there that talk about waiting until builders build supportive housing. That could take years. I'm not going to wait years. I'm not even going to wait 1 year. I don't even want to wait more than a couple of months, if even that. If I could do it within 2 weeks, I would do it within 2 weeks.
And also on the website, you talk about accountability a lot. So can you explain that to us?
Well, the 3 core values that I'm even running my campaign under, and what I would pledge as your mayor of San Francisco, is that the 3 core values would be accountability, law and order, and bringing up the quality of life. And I think these are the three principles that my opponents for the other candidates have them running for the exits, because they don't want to deal with accountability. They don't want to be held accountable personally. But for me, it is so important. And so I want to be accountable. I think it should start with me as the mayor. I want to be accountable to my constituents, to the voters, and that is among the most important of the 3. Plus, I want all department heads of each of the different department agencies of the city's agencies to be accountable as well. And any of the like homeless outreach organizations or any of those other organizations that receive funding from the city, they also need to individually be accountable to the city as well. They now also need to be accountable to us to ensure that they're using our funds in a responsible, trackable manner.
Other than yourself, if you have to vote for someone, other candidates, who will you vote for or no one?
So I've been asked this a few times, and honestly, I could not really recommend someone else, and here's why. Because I am the only Republican running and I have certain values. I have supporters, I have donors, I have voters who have pledged to vote for me. And since they are different from the Democrats, they're different from the other candidates for mayor, I couldn't consciously tell any supporters of mine, well, along with me, you should consider this person or that person.
Thank you so much, Richie, for joining us, Sky TV here today. And here's Richie Greenberg, so nice talking to you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking to you this morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.